Hello and welcome to another beautiful episode of Softline. I'm Nancy Banigo and with me today I have Queen Esther Ayawu. Queen Esther, you're welcome.
Thank you, Nancy.
All right, so Esther, how have you been?
I've been good, and you?
In fact, I don't even need to ask if you are shining. Okay, so let's talk a bit about this Temi's wedding. Temi and what was the husband? The Ajibades and the Otedolas, Mr. Easy. Let's talk a bit about it. You know, it has been trending for a while now.
Yeah.
The different sectors of the social media, everybody picked their own interest. So we're talking about her, you know, changing her father's name to the Ajibades all of a sudden. So we're talking about how simple the wedding was. Some picked the wedding dress, how, you know, beautiful and everything. So let's just talk about it. I want to pick the fact that I want to pick the angle where the father gave the daughter, you know, the speech the father made on that day. When I listened to that man talk, I was like, you know, we were expecting to hear, you better take care of my daughter, or, you know, she's precious to me, or all that and all that. But what we saw was different. He was like, Temio, this is your boss now. Don't call me again, or no more daddy. He just handed the daughter straight to the man. I mean, that was, you know, coming from his person of his caliber, it was surprising to many. So I don't know which angle did you pick from the whole wedding drama?
I would say congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Ajibade, and we wish them a very happy
married life.
So looking at Temi appears to be someone that is very simple but knows what she wants.
Absolutely.
She doesn't go around throwing her weight as a rich kid. She's very responsible. And Mr. Easy, in fact, like you said, what got my attention was her father's speech. Yes. You know, it was very unconventional. Yes. Particularly the part where he talked about Temi's attributes as being very quiet but deep. She doesn't talk too much, but when she says a thing, it's always a thing to sleep over. Yes. And the part where he advised her to submit, she said submit to his whims and caprices. That's to say, however, whichever way, submission is justice. Yes.
Absolutely.
And he also said, we don't even want to hear anything about whatever is going on in that marriage. Keep it within the walls of your homes. Don't call in a third party. He showed, the attribute of a typical African man who promotes the ideals of a healthy marriage. It tells me that he's not even looking forward to hearing any drama anytime soon. He has already blessed the home and he's standing solidly behind them to ensure they succeed. You know, he also turned to the young man and said, Temi is now yours, take care of her, and that was it. And then he went ahead to praise him. He's a great guy in his words. Mr. Easy is a great guy. He has entrepreneurial skills. And I also read somewhere where he said since he came in contact with Mr. Easy after he was introduced by Temi, he has never asked him for a dime. If at all he would ask for anything, it is idea, business idea. So I have this idea, and what do you think? He just runs his idea by Otedola himself, you know, and this already to him is a plus. And when Dangote got up to give his speech, was like he's getting to hear that Mr. Easy has businesses in 18 African countries.
Of course, what do you expect when you have a father-in-law like that?
Right.
You should follow his steps.
So to me, that was a great one. And he also went to talk about the family of Mr. Easy, that he's from a very decent
family.
So
true. And then let's talk a bit about the gift that he gifted them on that day. I think it was a book.
Okay.
I saw him give, in fact, when he gave them that parcel, I was, everybody was like, let's see which Banana Island pension are you going to give to your children. But when they opened it, I think it was a book, his latest book.
Yeah.
So that goes to say a whole lot about that family.
Right.
A whole lot about that family. Now let's talk about a bit about the name change. What's your opinion on that? Because I know some time ago we had this debate about women changing their names. You know, we had children from the rich home, when they get married, they always keep their son, their father's name, even though they're going to add their husband's name, but they don't take away their husband's name. And that has been debate for a while. So someone coming from that level, like Temi, and then all of a sudden she just removed the $10 from her name. I mean, it was surprise. It came as a shock to a whole lot of persons, and that goes to show. Okay, so it's her choice, I know, but it speaks volume. So what's your own take?
So when I saw that, it was actually on her Instagram page where she changed Temi Ajibade, and then the netizens, of course, they were like, "Woo, why? We're even begging to have such a name attached to us for the advantages such names bring." But it goes to tell us that she's not really materialistic or kind of so drawn into where she is coming from.
Okay.
She is looking forward to the future. You know, the change of name is actually an option. You know, some people go by their professional names, Temi or Tedola, hyphenated, then Ajibade. But she decided to keep the father's name and adopt the husband's name. I even saw a funny tweet online where someone said, "Oh, Mr. Easy, you know, try if not me, I for change my name to Oluwatosin Otedola." I would have asked my wife for her father's name.
You know.
So people laughed over it and all of that, you know. But I believe it's all for good.
It's all for good. I just like her simplicity. She's just a simple human being. Oh, if we continue talking about that word, I'm not sure we're going to leave this table today. Let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, we introduce our guests as well as our topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. So today we are exploring behavioral safety in the workplace, a crucial aspect of health, safety, and environment. Joining us is Uwana Etuk. He's a respected HSE expert who will explore key insight on behavioral safety, implementation strategies, and industrial best practices to help organizations foster a safer work environment. So let's get started. Mr. Uwana, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right.
All right. We can even see you.
That's interesting.
All right. So, Mr. Uwana, you're welcome once again. Esther? So let's get the discussions. Let's start with this crucial discussion. First of all, I'd like us to start this way. If you could please explain what exactly is behavioral safety and why do you think organizations need this, you know, to foster their work environment?
All right. From my own perspective, behavioral safety is a proactive approach that aims to prevent accident by identifying and changing risky human behavior in the workplace.
Okay.
Risky human behavior in the workplace. And this is being achieved through observation, feedback, and creating a very good work environment. So that's what behavioral safety is all about. Just how you behave, have a good culture in the work environment.
When we talk about behavior, what aspect of behavior are we talking about? Is it how you carry yourself, how you dress, or is it all encompassing? You know, what exactly, when we talk about behavior, if you could just break it down.
In terms of safety, it starts with the mindset.
Okay.
The behavioral aspect has to do with how you think in the workplace, how you act in the workplace, how you behave, and what you do in the workplace. It also has to entail with the kind of personal protective equipment you also wear in the workplace. You know, each workplace has different types of work clothing.
Okay.
So behavioral safety encompasses everything.
Okay, so why do you think organization needs this? I mean, you know, I think what should be more important is what you can do for the organization where you work. I mean, your capacity in your workplace. So what has behavior got to do with it? Why do they need it?
It's very important first to reduce accident in the workplace.
Okay.
It is also important for organizations to understand that if they embed behavioral safety in the workplace, it will help them to reduce accident, it will help them to reduce cost in terms of cost reduction. So organizations also have to help to ensure that they imbibe this behavioral culture not just in themselves, but also have to ensure that their workforce knows what to do at the right time and do the right thing at the right time.
Oh, okay. Esther, you want to come in?
Yes, please. So, what factor constitutes hazards that can predispose employees to risks?
Okay, let me talk about hazard. Hello, hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Factors that may cause hazard in the workplace. We have to look at what hazard is all about, because everyone never understand the meaning of hazard.
Okay.
Hazard is anything that has the potential to cause harm. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Even dropping a pen very close to your table, naked wire somewhere very close, that is already a potential hazard. So we need to bring it down to the layman to understand the workplace.
Yes, as regards to
potential.
Okay.
Yes, as regards to the subject matter, what can predispose an employee to such risk that can affect their behavior? What kind of environment, in terms of toxicity, what hazard? Yes.
The work environment.
Yes.
Start with the work environment.
Right.
Work environment is a very strong factor that can cause that.
Okay.
And I would just want to set a very simple example. I'm just sitting down, if that room temperature is not conducive, it's already a hazard to you. You won't be able to function well in this program. So the work environment is very important. Both employers and employees need to ensure that they have a good and a safe work environment.
All right. Are there measures that can be taken by employers or organizations to ensure that employees are, always in a good condition?
Absolutely, yes. It is a win-win situation. And we'll start by telling employees that first they need to identify, they need to assess, they need to control, they need to put recovery measures. So if you want to have your employees, if you're an employer level, you want your employees to give you the best out of them. In terms of behavioral safety, you need to look at their welfare. You need to look at their positive way of doing things. As a manager, as the owner of that business, you just look at what is wrong and leave it? No. So it has to do with leadership by example, and it has to do with, after identifying, you assess. You need to assess this by most times conducting just audit, inspections, pep talks, safety talk. You need to know what is happening around you. Because behavioral safety really makes workers to put in their best. It drives toward the culture of the workplace.
Okay, so now you've mentioned some initiatives that organizations or employers can take, or put in place to make sure that the workplace is conducive or safety for their employees. Now, are there challenges that some of these organizations face in carrying out some of this workplace initiative to make the workplace safe for their workers? Okay. Okay, so we didn't get that. I think we'll have some issues with the audio. Okay, so Esther. Okay, I think he's back.
If
you could please just come again, because we didn't really get that.
So actually it has to do with the leadership for what?
Okay.
We need to show that they provide resources for ensuring that behavioral safety is attained, because at some point we need to send some of the workforce members to go and train themselves. They need to ensure that they enact policies. If these resources are not available, how are they even going to achieve a good work culture?
Okay.
And by achieving that good work culture, they've been able to achieve a good behavioral safety in the workplace?
You know, I had to ask that question because I know sometimes employees can be rebellious, you know, to an extent. You know, sometimes they go against companies or organization policies. So there are some initiatives that I see organizations put in place, but I think it doesn't always go the way they want. Sometimes they encounter some challenges, you know. So I wanted to know some of those challenges they encounter and how they are able to overcome those challenges.
In the workplace, no two individuals can think alike.
Okay.
Even within among the workforce, even among within the employees, between the employees and the employer, I've seen it over a period of time in my career, whereby you initiate a policy, and the process of implementing it, and the employee will tell you, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years, I've been doing this for 25 years, I've been doing this for 5 years. You understand? It feels because accident has not happened before, so it won't happen. So at this point, the organization needs to enforce.
Okay.
Enforcement is very key. If the organization does not enforce behavioral safety into the mindset of the workers, then the minority will be able to achieve what they want to achieve. That is number one.
Okay. Oh, you said more. I thought you were going to give us more. Yeah, please give us more.
I can still give you more. Yeah. In terms of allocation of resources, you see it's a two-way stuff. Organizations also have to allocate resources for training of the workforce.
Okay.
Organizations have to come to the party by ensuring that the workplace is safe for the workers. Organizations also have to, apart from training, have to do what we call team bonding. You know, in the process of team bonding, you tend to know the workforce very well. Then some organizations also have to do medical evaluation. How do you evaluate your workforce? Are they medically fit to be in that workspace? Are they psychologically fit to be at that workplace? What happened at home? Even most times, people just come to work, the heart issues at home, the transfer aggression, especially in big industries that can actually cause accidents. So these are the things we need to look into.
All right. So, you know, talking about psychological problems, people coming, what are those things organizations need to put in place to ensure that their employers are in that space, you know, where they can carry out their role effectively without any hindrance? Because sometimes
as the industry, I've seen some industries that I've seen some industries that during lunchtime they tell you go play table tennis, go play on tennis, just go ease up. I've also seen some industry that if you work after every 1 hour, you need to stand up from the laptop, from behind your screen, walk around, have coffee rooms. And even now in some countries, people were laughing like, oh, they have a sleeping time. They call it nap period. Between maybe 30 minutes during while you're working, just go take a nap, come back. And we discovered that might not really work in some industries, depending on the culture. But by and large, the organization needs to look at what will work for them, who does trust in key positions, ensure that in terms of implementation, the HR department, the admin department also play a very vital role in ensuring that whatever they set out is being achieved.
Okay. Now, sorry, Esther, before you come in, most organizations are hearing this behavioral safety for the first time, or should I say organization or people are hearing this thing for the first time. So, why is it necessary? You know, I asked that question at the beginning of this, why it's crucial for organizations to have this behavioral safety in their establishment. All right. Now, what happens to those organizations that do not have this, that do not even care about it? What happens to them?
So the essence of safety is this: if you leave your house to come work for an organization, you must come back or go back to your house complete the same way you can. And the statistics have shown that we spend more time in the workplace than even at home, especially for people that do 9 to 5, if I may say so. So it is important for those that have not even heard about this. We are creating awareness. We go to the social media, we try as much as possible to create more awareness about behavioral safety, about cultural safety, and how to ensure the workplace is safe. Safety is far beyond PPE, is far beyond prevention of accident. Now it starts from the mindset. If you have a good mindset at the workplace, you will work very well.
All right, Esther, you want to go in?
Yes. So are there legislations to back this up? Like Nancy said.
Absolutely, yes. So this is a side of safety that people have not been looking at.
Okay.
There are regulations from, if you look at it, bring it back to Nigeria, the labor law.
Okay.
The labor law states that if it's the duty, we call it duty of king, it is the duty of an employer to provide a safe working space. When we talk about safe working space, not just a physical safe working space now, we're also talking about a psychological safe working space. These days, you hear people talking about, I have a mental issue, mental health, I can't contend with this. So we try as much as possible to break these laws and legislation down to a layman understanding that it is your right.
Okay.
The employer must provide you with a good workspace.
Okay, so is it possible to have resistance from employees, when trying to implement some of these behavioral safety procedures?
Absolutely correct. Yes, it is possible.
Can you highlight some scenarios?
This is always the problem, because most times industries, the organization will want to force this down on the employees. There is a way for you to achieve this. You need to drive it down to them. You need to bring them closer to what you want to achieve. We call it a win-win situation in safety. So as you want to move from, let's say, red culture to yellow culture, because you cannot just move from red to blue. You have to see of achieving this. If you want to move from red to yellow, first you need to engage. We've seen some industries that they'll just wake up one morning and tell you, your work has been terminated, or you can't work here because you not comply to X, Y, Z rules. Whereas those rules were not communicated to you properly.
Okay.
So now we have to ensure that it is a two-way stop. Both the employer and the employee need to come to that place of understanding, and we need to communicate. You need to give these guys time to also learn and relearn, to understand that this is what you want to achieve.
Okay, so that's some of the best practices, that organization can use in designing some of this safety, behavioral safety initiatives, right? Coming together to talk. Are there other best practices also in designing some of these initiatives by organizations?
Yes, training.
Okay.
Training.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is important that training must be conducted to workers when it has to do with behavioral safety. Then after the training phase, what else? To train somebody is one thing. To implement what the person has been learned is a different thing. So there's what we usually call follow through. After training, follow through.
Okay.
This is even more important than the training phase, because you need to follow through with that person. It is assumed that person has never seen this before. Let's presume that I want to move from carrying an iPhone 1 to iPhone 3, and I've never carried an iPhone before. So I need to tell myself the gospel truth that I have to look at for the manual. I need to read the manual, and I need to also understand what the manual says.
Okay.
So training is very important. Follow through after the training is important. Evaluation after the training is important. Leadership, engagement, feedback.
Very important. All right, so we'll go on a very quick break, Mr. Uwana. I will be right back to continue with this conversation. Stay with us. Thanks for being there. So we have Mr. Uwana Etuk with us discussing behavioral safety in workplace. He's a HSE, environmental safety, health safety he's here, he's an expert on this field. So he's telling us those kind of behaviors we should put place in the workplace to ensure safety. All right, Mr. Uwana, I remember you made one point where you say organizations should have initiatives, for this behavioral safety for their employees, right? Now, I'm wondering, how are they going to know if the initiative they've put in place is really working, is effective? What are those measures they can, how do you tell it, the yardstick to be able to know if the measures they put in place is actually effective or not?
We have what is called the 6 pillars of behavioral safety.
Okay.
And these 6 pillars of behavioral safety, we have measurements. So now I think your question is just tied down to measurement. How do you measure what you've done? Okay. What criteria are you going to use to measure? Like I said before the break, feedback. Apart from feedback, there's what we call evaluation, safety evaluation for the workforce. Okay. In some organizations, they do yearly tests. They do yearly, depending on the industry. Maybe I can just use one of the industries I've worked before. Okay. They can do yearly automated tests. Want to find out how are you hearing, at what decibel are you having hearing issues, providing you PPE, separating where you're going to work and all those stuff. So in terms of behavioral safety, we've trained you, we've given you your personal protective equipment. Are you wearing it? Then if you're not wearing it, if it's mandatory, we look at it as a culture. It is not only the safety practitioner, the safety manager, or safety officer will enforce that the usage of PPE. Any other person, your line manager, your colleague, we call it looking after yourself. Okay. So it is important if the person sees you doing the wrong thing, we can tell you, look, this is the right thing we need to do. All right. That is one. Then secondly, observational identification, I've spoken about that, feedback and coaching, data analysis, goal setting. If we set a goal that, okay, we've observed that working at XYZ stuff, I usually have car accident like 50%. I need to reduce my car accident from 50% to 30% next year. Okay. How will I achieve that? First, I need to gather all my drivers. I need to talk to my drivers. I need to educate them because in this part of the world, it is not robot or AI that is driving those cars. Okay. It is human being. So I need to engage with those human beings. I need to also track what we've done in terms of feedback, in terms of coaching, in terms of measurement. Then in terms of leadership, if I tell you that we must wear seatbelt and drive that car, definitely if I'm going to drive that car, I must also wear seatbelt. So these are the things that we will do as employers or as leaders in the industry to benchmark what we've achieved and what we think to achieve.
All right. So, we have to take our tweets. But before then, I still have this question. When we talk about behaviors in the workplace, we can rule out office gossips and all that. Are there any measures, to categorize the kind of gossip, the kind of, those subtle behaviors people put out in the workplace? Are there, initiatives to like monitor those behaviors? I don't know. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
I absolutely agree with you. So in some organizations, they will tell you whistleblowing. Whistleblowing, if somebody is trying to come in to talk to you, you understand, office gossip, somebody also trying to give you some unnecessary passes in the office that you are not comfortable, they will tell you to speak out. Speaking out doesn't mean you're weak. So it is very important that workers need to know how to draw the line. You cannot completely eradicate office gossip. You cannot completely eradicate office politics. But what I'm going to tell people in terms of behavioral safety that if you are saying yes in the office, also outside, learn to say yes. Do not have a different pattern of behaving in the office and also have a different pattern of behaving outside the office. If people know that you're a fair person, they will definitely know where to draw the line and how to talk to you when it comes to all this gossip and the rest.
All right, so let's take some of our tweets to see what the people are saying. I will have our first tweet here from Olajide, and he said, advocating for anxiety in the workplace means creating safe space to share and heal. Let's prioritize mental health together. Help your colleague and workforce today. And the next one says, psychological health affects how we think, feel, and act, which impact our ability to perform well at work, in our personal lives, and in the society. And the next one says, you build peace at work by honoring your boss, respecting your colleagues, and uplifting your juniors. Harmony creates growth. Toxic words kills trust. Be the reason the workplace feel safe. Okay. And then we have this one here. It says, I'm caring about environments where workplace bullying occurs reflect a commitment to the treatment of individuals within that community. It emphasizes the importance of fostering a respectful and supportive atmosphere. Ensure that all members feel valued and safe. Okay, so Mr. Uwana, would you want to react to any of those tweets?
Absolutely yes.
Okay.
In fact, all. But in a very few words.
Okay.
Okay, let's go for the first one.
All right. Advocating for anxiety in the workplace?
Yeah, anxiety in the workplace. We've spoken about that because a lot of people might come to work, they're not even happy, depending on what happened, where they're coming from. We use Lagos as a case study. You are working in Ikoyi or Victoria Island, and you're coming from the mainland, or top mainland dish in the morning, the downfall guys eat you, or the police guys, you had an issue. Then you are resuming work, supposed to resume work maybe by 9, you are already in the office by 9:45. And your boss comes in and asks you, supposed to go in for a meeting. Where's the report? Anxiety comes in. Psychologically, you are not going to be the same that day, that period. So these are the things and the factors that plays towards anxiety in the workplace and how we can manage them. The second one has to do with toxic environment.
Okay.
These days, you don't have a toxic environment. Definitely, you're going to be affected either positively or negatively. So we got to tell people that create a safe workspace. How do you create a safe workspace? By ensuring that you don't engage yourself in one organizational politics. Like that would say you need to have a good harmony with what? Your boss and your colleagues. So you need to have a 360-degree relationship with your juniors, with your peers, and with your boss. So by having that 360 relationship with your juniors, there's an organization that you enter, they don't call the cleaners housekeepers. They call them asset managers. Simply because they don't psychologically call that guy or that lady a sweeper or a housekeeper. You affect the way that person is going to look at the person himself. So one day, please, can you call me that asset manager or asset head? Why? Because that name also has already been changed. He or she is not looking at his or herself as what? As a cleaner.
Wow. I like that perspective.
So you see how it comes to play, because you need to manage all parties.
I'm glad you're saying this, because some colleagues tend to look down on their colleagues, especially those juniors, the cleaner, the driver, they just say some words, and I understand how this feels, but I'm glad you're saying it. So is this part of the behavioral safety we are talking about?
It's still part of it.
It's still part of it.
Industries. So we just wanted to normalize this. I don't want to talk about maybe the maritime industry, the aviation industry, manufacturing, or oil and gas. But the truth of the matter is that behavioral safety in the workplace is becoming something that all industries are campaigning for. Because if your worker is sound in mind, he or she will give the best.
All right, Esther, you want to talk?
Yeah, so one of the tweets highlighted toxicity. So what advice would you have for an employee whose boss constitutes some form of behavioral risk? By that I mean the boss is kind of toxic. You know those
Yeah.
they call them bosses from hell, right? They will never let you be. So how do you advise an employee to navigate that? You know, you don't want to resign and leave because you don't have any other option. You're between the devil and the deep blue sea. So what advice would you have for employees working under a toxic boss?
You need to create that space to have a very honest conversation with your boss.
Wow.
I have been in that situation before, and I will use myself as a case study. If I want to have a frank conversation with you as my boss, and maybe I know you are toxic and I need to change the way things are going, not just with me, but with other people, I will not confront you in the public. What most employees don't know is that as long as the boss is there, he's your boss. So have that frank conversation with your boss, one-on-one conversation, spell out what you like and what you don't like. And if this continues, you have the right. If you not to allow him to seek for mutual opinion, fine, you can do. But if he doesn't, I'll advise you to walk away.
All right.
Walking away.
All right.
Okay.
So perhaps walking away is not the best.
What you don't understand about this is that a lot of people live under the pretense of I need this money. Let me put the shit which my boss is giving. But for how long will you take that? So this will now have ripple down effect to the way that person behaves. It also affect the person's family, affect the way that person feels things.
Productivity
Even within and outside the work environment.
Okay, so as an expert in this field, let me just ask this: as an expert in this field, what's the limits? As in, I know there's supposed to be boundaries set when you're in your workplace, right? So what is that point, or where's that point? I don't know how to even put it. That you get and then you're unable to tolerate
your break points.
Yeah, your break points. What is it that can happen, and you say, okay, this is it, I'm done.
So let two individual things alike. That's what usually tell people in the industry. My own level of tolerance and acceptance is definitely going to be different from yours. Why? Because of different characteristics or different factors. Age might come to play, experience, exposure, and all those factors. So we will not draw a line. Even if you talk to psychologists, they will tell you at some point in the workplace, if you feel that this is strengthening your mental health, they will tell you do what? Walk away. So if I say mine is 50, yours might be 60. And that person might be 75. But you need to look at factors that you as an individual you will not want to take. The case study is this. We had an intense, I think 3 years ago, in one of the places I was working. And this young man came in, Gen Z. Guess what? The first day he came in was the first and the last day he walked away. He resigned and he walked away.
They're like that.
Because in Sydney, he said he can do X, Y, that stuff. So they just told him, please, can you do this? And the guy was struggling. We don't know whether it was what they told him to do or he couldn't do it. All of a sudden, he was like, this is too much for him. He cannot work here. And he left away.
Right.
But to someone else, another person will be able to do what? To say, okay, I cannot do this. Please, can you give me maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, let me look at a way how to feed them. You know, most times we tend to blame the bosses. We also don't look inward. What the employee is doing and how the employee can manage this. Because behavioral safety starts from the individual. I usually tell you, starts from the individual, from you as an individual, as an employee. Because if you're an employee today, tomorrow you might also become an employer. if this were to be your business, how will you run it? So now as an employee, you need to ask yourself the valid truth. At what level will my boss do this and I cannot take? Okay, let's put it. How is the other one now? If I were to be in his shoes, how will I take this? So professionally, we don't have like a bar, we say 60%, 70%, 80%, because this has to do with human behavior.
Okay.
And we usually tell people that the geography of the mind is far more facilitating than the physical geography. So behavioral safety just has to be the mindset before even putting out the physical control and stuff.
All right.
All right. So, are there behavioral safety gaps you have identified? What are they, if there is any, and what steps are there to improve upon these?
Yes, yeah. We look at the first one we've actually identified or personally identified is age.
Okay.
So how do you manage this? You see, we have the millennial, the Gen Z, maybe the Gen Alpha, the kind of now, and those other ones. If you look at the social media and some of what people use as a joke, it happens in the workplace. Because age gap between somebody that is in the 50s, 60s, and somebody that is in the 20s is wide. So the behavioral pattern, let's assume in this workspace, you need to wear jacket and suit coming. And the Gen Z will come with t-shirt and jean. And the boss is looking at you, wow, why? One, age. Second, environment. Experience, exposure. Those are the things that create behavioral safety gaps in the workplace. And for us to ensure that we are able to mitigate or close these gaps, during entry and exit interviews, we usually want to find out why are you leaving the workplace, what are we doing wrong that we can do better, how can we make this a safe environment for you. That will also have a decision making.
All right. The last tweet talked about bullying. So I was wondering, how does bullying in the workplace manifest?
In several ways. These days, some say it's not just male bullying female, female also bully male. You've seen that. So it's two-way stuff. In the workplace, we've seen bullying like a very bullying encourages bad behavioral safety in the workplace.
Okay.
Most especially bosses. You see the boss will tell you I've been doing this for 15, 16 years, for 20 years. So why do you want me to change it? I will not go to somebody and say, don't mind the management. Please continue to use this. When you come, I'll defend you. You understand where that is going to? He's only bullying the younger one not to adhere to instructions. And you see the young one will definitely say, oh, my line manager is going to protect me, so I'm going to do it. If anything comes and it happens, I'll say, oh, my line manager says I should do this. But now hearing that paraventure is accidentally cut off his or her hands, the line manager will not be there because the hand is gone.
True.
But the line manager will have bullied that poor person to do what he or she wouldn't have done. Then it's a chance to let them tell you the way I manage to take this done, I don't care. If everybody talks to me in such a way, just know that that's not the right place for you to stay and work. Because it is the responsibility of those in leadership position to pay and know how they are going to achieve every set goals and objectives.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Uwana, for this insightful discussion with you today. Before you go, if you can give us a closing remark on like top 2 organizations who do not even know what this behavioral safety is, sort of kind of trying to create an awareness, just talk to them, and also talk to employees who don't see the need for it. Just go in there and do your bit and then go away.
I think finally, safety is anybody's responsibility. It starts with the individual. At any place you see yourself working, that is your workplace, that is your workspace. Before even the employee comes, before even the employer puts in the place for you to work, you as an employee must ask yourself inwardly, is this place safe for me to work? Am I willing to work here? If it is not willing to, if it's not safe for me to work, you have the right to tell the person I'm not going to work here. That is number one. Then for the employer, it is the duty of the employer to ensure that he or she creates a safe working environment, a safe workspace, a safe workplace for the employee. Then for those that don't even know that there is something like behavioral safety, while really creating awareness and go on social media and find out, you can Google it, you can check on other platforms. People are really beginning to talk about behavioral safety because the level of suicide in workplaces is increasing. So it is important that employers should look into the welfare of the employees.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Uwana, for this great discussion with you today. I hope you will oblige us when we call you next time to talk more on workspace palavas, if there's any word like that. All right, thank you for tuning in to our discussion on behavioral safety in the workplace with Uwana Etuk, our esteemed HSE expert. We hope you found the insights valuable and informative. Stay safe, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye. Esther?
Yes, Nancy? Bye for now.